All right, let's talk about the Las Vegas Raiders fresh off a big victory over the Green Bay Packers, an ugly victory at times, but a win is a win nonetheless. And it looks like the Raiders are preparing to make an absolutely massive move to upgrade their roster. We've got a report over from Bleacher Report. Mize, if you throw it up, I will read from it. Then we'll dig into the other side of it. All right, the Las Vegas Raiders are looking to beef up their pass rush following the release of Chandler Jones. Diana Rossini of The Athletic reported on Sunday. They are looking for a player-for-player swap and may not want to give up too much. That's what Rossini said. The Raiders' defense is currently ranked 18th in total defense, allowing 337 yards a game and 12 total touchdowns. They are 13th against the pass with 202.8 yards and 26 against the run with 134.3 yards. Here's an interesting name. Brian Burns of Carolina would provide a pass rush, could drop into coverage, and is one of the best overall linebackers in the game. The only problem, Rossini said in the same report, the Panthers hinted to other teams that they are not interested in trading away players for draft picks. All right, I still think this opens up a massive opportunity for the Raiders, and maybe the pieces are coming together, because who is the one guy for the Las Vegas Raiders that's been rumored to potentially being traded away from the team? How about Hunter Renfrow, the wide receiver, who's kind of been left by the wayside with some of these other guys stepping up? And we've heard a lot of reports out of Carolina. What are they looking for? Another wide receiver. It potentially makes a lot of sense. I think we're kind of heading in this direction. I think this report over from Diana Rossini may be the first domino to fall. And what I think is actually a pretty good chance of potentially happening, a Renfrow for Burns swap. There may be other players involved as well, but I think those will be the two main pieces. I think the Raiders are going to actually pull this off. Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are. But before we get into that, Raiders fans, big game against the Patriots coming up. Look, obviously slow start to the season, but there's a lot of winnable games coming up around the calendar. This is one of them. So in the comment section below, give us your prediction, final score, Raiders versus Patriots. But Miles, let me throw it over to you now. What do you think of potentially acquiring Brian Burns from the Carolina Panthers? I think there's a strong chance of it happening, especially if Renfrow's in the deal.
Yeah, no, I'm looking over the Panthers roster. This is a roster kind of on the fritz as far as the wide receiver position goes. Adam Thielen has done good so far, but he's older. There's no certainty in his career as far as how long he's going to be playing for. DJ Shark, I think he's underperformed a little bit. He's been okay so far per PFF. He's ranking like 80th out of 110 wide receivers in the NFL. And then they have the rookie Jonathan Mingo. Nobody knows exactly what is going to be there. You know who does know exactly what they have is the Raiders and a guy like Hunter Renfrow, Mr. Reliable, Mr. Third Down. That's the name he was given at Clemson. Also, Hunter Renfrow's hometown, South Carolina, very close to the Panthers as well. Maybe stirs the pot, sweetens the deal there. I think it's a very interesting move because Bryce Young does need a reliable option in his wide receiver core to help develop a young quarterback. Maybe they could use a guy like DJ Moore. That would have been a great option for him, but that is no longer there. So I think Hunter Renfrow could come in that stead and be a very reliable target for a guy like Bryce Young to help progress his career. And I think getting rid of Burns on an already pretty okay defensive front for the Panthers won't hurt too much. Obviously, there's going to be a few other things that need to be mixed in the trade. I'm not sure Renfrow for Burns straight up is a fair trade, but I think, there could be a deal worked out here, and it could be something that's beneficial for both parties. Nick, what do you think about the aspect of Renfrow potentially helping out Bryce Young early on in his career?
I think it just makes perfect sense. It's one of those things that it almost sounds too perfect for it to actually happen. Because you look at the issue with the Carolina Panthers offense, as you kind of alluded to it, they don't have a guy who can move the chains, right? Bryce Young is trying to just create big plays down the field all of the time just because they don't have anyone who can turn a 3rd and 5 into a first down. It's really hard to manufacture offense in those situations, and the Carolina Panthers have really suffered because of it so far this season. A guy like Hunter Renfrow, savvy vet, knows how to work the middle of the field, slot receiver, gets open, easy target for a young quarterback. It's exactly what the Carolina Panthers need. And, look, Brian Burns, I'm sure they don't want to get rid of him. He's a great player, but he's on the last year of his deal. He's probably looking for big money next offseason. We don't know if the Carolina Panthers are going to be able to sign him to that money, or even if they want to, right? They're going to try and build the entire team around Bryce Young, who knows if Burns is going to be a part of that. They may have to let him walk in free agency anyway. Is it a chance for them to get a guy like Renfrow now instead of letting Burns walk? I think the Panthers jump on that. And I always like to look at the dollars and cents in terms of the salary cap and if it makes sense. If you look at Hunter Renfrow's salary cap right now this season, $13.1 million against the cap. Brian Burns, $16 million against the cap. So again, it's roughly the same ballpark. It's not like there would be a huge cap constraint on both sides. Both teams would be able to have to maybe make some minor adjustments here or there, but nothing catastrophic in terms of the overall structure of their salary cap. And it just makes sense. Like, this is a Raiders team. We know they're limited with Jimmy G or Aiden O'Connell at quarterback, right? But they have the ability to run the football. They have enough weapons. I really like Jacoby Myers, Michael Myers getting better. Devontae Adams, of course, is a stud. This defense is playing a little bit better than people expected, especially with Chandler Jones not playing. You add in another pass rusher. I mean, there is a path to 8, 9, 10 victories this season for the Raiders in a potential playoff berth. And especially since Hunter Renfrow looks like he's potentially on the way out anyway, why not get something for him in return? I think the Raiders are heading towards this move. I think it's a really good decision by them when they decide to pull it off.